You're such an asshole.
Hey everybody, the old captain here. It has been a while since we're going to catch up on asshole consulting again. If you have a question, comment, or something, matter of fact, you don't have to have anything. You can just send me money. You go to assholeconsulting.com, send me your question. I'll give you a quote, then you send me your money. And no, it is not a non-profit. It is very much for profit. Hi, Aaron. I like your videos and I've read your books, Bachelor Pad Economics and Curse of the High IQ. You have really key information or perspectives in there, and your listeners really shouldn't delay in checking them out, in my opinion. Yes, you're 100% correct. I don't even know why you need asshole consulting. You're a genius with your very good taste in books, I might add. I'd like your input on a situation of mine as I'm considering employment changes in the near future. I would like this to be a video, and for my name to be anonymous in it. Yeah, sorry, I will keep you anonymous. First, a little bit of background on myself. 20-year-old black male, graduated with a bachelor's of information technology, bravo. Earned a full scholarship, so zero tuition. There we are, zero tuition, or zero tuition cost. Loans were only used to cover other expenses, paid off student loans, and swiftly and immediately after graduating college, as they were minimal. I was predetermined to be debt-free since high school, so I calculated my expenses ahead of time. It's a new foreign concept for all you millennial kids and you kids in high school. He did shit, forget kids, try adults. Calculating and budgeting before you throw down $250,000 on some kind of degree or investment. I've been debt-free since and live a minimalistic lifestyle. I work out of, we're just going to say Florida, I won't mention where, doing IT work. My job entails me delivering clients' projects for well-known corporations based upon their specific requirements. They want something done, and I figure out the solution to that while managing the capacity and prioritizing the work deliverables of my team. I get close to a certain amount paid off, and although I'm in the office at least 80% of the time, although I'd argue it's totally not necessary, no, IT, there's, again, remember, let me guess, there's a baby boomer at the top of your command structure where well, I can't see you. How do I know you're working? Well, Jim Morrison, if you moved up a couple decades, I do have remote work capability for the other 10 to 20%. Well, great for avoiding the office antics. I do typically have a reasonable enough workload to not be able to significantly multitask doing something else. Basically, I'm not ridiculously overburdened, but I'm also not sitting on my ass. I get it. A job's a job. I'm just there trading my time and someone's paid for it. Dude, I would bet you have a father in the household. That is, you have assessed the real world of work perfectly. Since squashing my student loans, I started traveling around other areas, New York, California, D.C., Illinois, and the Caribbean, in order to not only explore an adventure, but to also scope out the possible feasibility of future employment and living. I'd rather rely on my own eyes and ears than what everyone else has to say. I keep a list of prospective locations and continue to dish them out. I've managed to accumulate savings of a couple of months' worth of living expenses in the unfortunate case of an emergency sudden unemployment. Why are you contacting me? You don't need me. You were doing better than I ever was at 28. And there's nothing wrong. I'm sure there will be a problem coming up here soon. But I'm just impressed. If every kid did what you did, there wouldn't be any financial troubles in the world. Currently, I hit the streets in an old truck that was given to me. Performing most of its repairs myself, I subsequently learned a lot about auto maintenance. Overall, it's been very reliable to me over the years and has taken me anywhere I've set off in it. Separate funds are also stacked away just in case for another vehicle, as I strongly prefer to remain debt-free. I've considered the entrepreneurial path since college, reading up on the mindsets to possess and other material on business information. After self-teaching myself aspects of web development and design, I've performed some paid web design work. However, in order to be more competitive and valuable, I realized I had to add more robust skills to my repertoire. Somebody breaking out the 50-cent words today. Repertoire. So I've been focusing on that. I unfortunately was diagnosed years ago with a neurological... Oh, here's the problem. With a neurological condition I'm still going through the motions with. While I'm able to function overall, at times my concentration and energy levels are negatively affected. There have been some recent developments, so hopefully soon I can put this behind me, but no guarantees. Until then, if there is a problem, I simply have to manage it. I stopped slacking. You were slacking before? Dude, If every millennial was like you, man, I'd have hope. I would have genuine hope for the country. If you think you're slacking, God Almighty, are you married? Because the girls ought to go find you. I stopped slacking and finally took your advice to take one of those classic IQ tests offered on Queendom and scored a 124. So I guess that's not too shabby. No, dude, that's like top 7-8% roughly. If you're 115, that's one standard deviation. You're almost two standard deviations. So yeah, you're definitely top 7, definitely top 10. Now to my situation. Fuck, we read through all that. Now we're on to your situation? Oh shit, is this a long email? Now to my situations. My observations indicate that the atmosphere at my current job are likely to be on the decline in the near future, and the question is how close I'd like to be to the blast radius. The wrong people in the wrong positions, poor leadership, mismanagement, the usual suspects. I could see a possibility of a decent evacuation of whatever talent is left in the near year or so, and I'm seeing little benefit of remaining myself should the ship begin its descent. I'm at the point now where my finger is reaching towards the play button on my exit strategy. I'm interested in switching gears and moving more into web technology field. However, I want to extract myself and move more forward properly. In addition to improving my skills in this area, I've also been putting effort into polishing up a portfolio to give me a leg up and relevancy when it becomes needed. I've had prior employment in a somewhat related area when I was younger that taught me a lot. However, I essentially hit a ceiling there and thus took my current job as it has more room for other kinds of growth and benefits. Considering the projection I painted earlier, the only benefits I could see in sticking around is to continue building up a war chest, working on the two-prong approach, and furthering my travel adventures. These are largely location independent from what I can observe, so it's not as if I couldn't accomplish these elsewhere. As for potential employers, I am open, but have considered some large ones like Microsoft or Amazon. I'm not saying offers are on the table, but there's a chance I could reasonably have things arranged to increase my chances of getting in front of them at least. Leaving local options out of the picture here for the moment, relocation would obviously arise, possibly Seattle, Austin, Dallas areas to name a few. Yeah, Seattle. That's traffic, dude. That is just some traffic and some leftist dipshit. Not your truly poor. We're talking your suburbanite poor coming in from Mercer Island, like the hipster kids who still think Kurt Cobain is something, and they go panhandle a Pioneer Square. Meanwhile, they've had more life leg ups than you or me or anyone else has. It grinds on you. I'm not the kind of person that has a corporate obsession, so as you have said, all jobs suck. I don't really need to have a reason to believe jobs at these companies wouldn't eventually suck. All novelty wears off. I'm just interested in a job that will drive me further along in my chosen field of interest while giving me access to information or opportunities that I either wouldn't have otherwise gained or would have taken me longer to do so. Now I'm talking broadly, not just career-wise, but business-wise, but overall life as well. Time, money, and mobility are valuable, and these allow me to better enjoy people, which are also important to the equation. My current job maintains a reasonable enough distance away from my own life that I can do things I've mentioned before. However, I don't want to end up infringing on these areas with my next steps. I can accept being wrong if matters end up not working out as ideally hoped. However, I don't want to be uninformed or naive about my decisions either if I can observe that ahead of time. I like to maintain the forward momentum I've built up thus far. I think it's important to work towards something that you feel matters to you. However, at the same time, I don't want to keep to what's nexting myself and inadvertently positioning myself in a minefield. 1. What are your thoughts on all this? How do you think I should go about analyzing how to properly extract myself and implement this? All right. On all of it, which is a lot, I would stick with the two-prong approach, but you're thinking, I want to stop doing what I'm doing now and then get into web development. And there's just two minor problems with that. One, you're giving up the bird for two in the bush. So whatever your IT skills are, and I don't want to nail them down to keep you anonymous, you obviously are employable in that trade and skill. And you already have the wisdom to know that all jobs suck, that it's not going to be, the grass is not going to be greener on the other side. So, and you have a better finger on your pulse than I do because I'm not there. But you can kind of stick with the slowly sinking ship. But if things look bad, yeah, you might want to start sending out resumes for your currently employed field that will get you money on the table now. Right? So that's paying for your food, clothing, shelter, maintenance, travel, and all that. You don't want to give that up. You at least need that. Then when it comes to your web development, you could try and swap out careers, and then you got to go take more classes or teach yourself some more stuff online. But I don't think web development would lend itself too well to employment. And the reason why I say that is, yeah, you could be a great web developer and you could actually go and start becoming, working for a web development company. And maybe that's okay, but I would suggest that web development is an ideal candidate for what would inevitably be your self-employment income down the road. Now, I know a lot, just with what little classes I've taken and knowledge I have about it, is the web development, the design is one thing, the artistic thing is one thing, but it's the security and the back office or back website operations of getting your email up, terms of service, that kind of stuff, cybersecurity, that's where probably the lion's share or a disproportionate percentage of your research and your studies will go. And maybe it is worth spending a couple years at a web development company to learn all that. But as is in the world of IT, and my personal philosophy, if you can avoid working, just start going straight to self-employment, I would do that. So what I would say is continue on your career, either at your current employer or not, finding a new place, but with the current IT skills set that you are using, okay? On the side, your two-pronged approach, study as much as you can in the world of web development, start developing websites, and I would say, dude, just like a CPA or a lawyer, hang a fucking sign up on the internet saying Bob's Website Design and go with that. So you can start off small, you have nothing really fancy. I mean, and this is something you can do today. I mean, if you can set up a website, you just say, oh no, it's a little bit more complex than that. Or you offer website design services. You don't know everything. You don't have to. And then you go hire the IT guy that is a cybersecurity specialist. Or you go hire the guy who does know how to set up email forms or CAPTCHA and stuff like that. So that you could start right off the bat down the entrepreneurial route. Or if you wanted to, you could go work for somebody else. I mean, maybe part-time so you don't give up your daytime job too. Go ahead and get more thoroughly trained in it to the point that you're comfortable, like, okay, now I know enough about website design, I can open up my own shop. But they'll probably be pissed off, especially if they think that's what you're doing. So navigate that as you will. I would say teach yourself, open up a website, and start going down the path of entrepreneurship. The other thing I would recommend you do is start teaching yourself accounting. Nothing fancy or dramatic. Just learn how to read financial statements, learn how to fill out a tax form, the 1040, and a Schedule C. Write that motherfucking shit down. A Schedule C, a 1040, and then a profit and loss, which is also known as the income statement, and a balance sheet would not hurt. If you want, you can take my class, The Analysis Evaluation of Stocks. The first half of that will teach you what it is. The rest of the half would be pointless, but that costs you money. So you can teach yourself for free, or you can take that class, but again, it will cost you cash. But I would take maybe some Cons Academy accounting courses, some kind of free accounting tutorials. Investopedia has great tutorials. Learn some accounting, because I don't know how many times I've seen it. They got a great chef, they got a great bar, they got a great IT guy, but their accounting controls are non-existent, and then they lose money and they file for bankruptcy. 2, do you think I have the proper way of viewing the scenario? Do you notice concerns? I know you don't say try until you're 35. Yeah, but see, you're in a STEM field, and you have the entrepreneurial hustle. So absolutely, as long as you're investing in yourself and not a baby boomer Captain Titanic that's going to ram into icebergs and, oh, I know if you're working if I can't see you, that type of thing. As long as you got one foot in entrepreneurial endeavors, like either you're skilling up to pursue them or you're actually pursuing them, and you're kind of keeping your other foot, oh, is this Titanic going to sink? You find another ship that isn't going to sink to put. I would try, because you're in a field and you're making progress. But if you were like, a business major, even an accounting major, I'd be like, don't get your hopes up. But yeah, try now because you're investing in yourself. When I say don't try till you're 35, I don't mean like become some basement dwelling virgin who lives in their basement and never sees the light of day and just plays video games and lives off of their mother. I mean, don't try and don't give your youth, don't commit yourself to your employer unless they're paying you gobs of money and it's worthwhile. You still try in your own entrepreneurial ventures where 100% of the effort goes to benefit you, not some shareholders or some dipshit middle-aged middle management fuck. 3, although I don't loathe it and am glad for the ways it has benefited me, do you think perhaps I should value my current job situation more despite what I see? No, I don't think you, maybe a touch, but you accurately assess it. It's just, you are making the job work for you. It's not going to be exciting. The novelty is going to wear off. You're not like these delusional MBA type students, or the finance majors that go, I'm going to make it in investment banking, or these girls who go get their masters in social work. They think they're going to save all the third and second world countries over. You're not delusional like that. You know exactly. You've sized up and accurately assessed corporate America for what it is, and you know that your future to happiness in life is not through an employer. It is through self-employment, through yourself. So I would, only because I dealt with poverty and I know what it's like to be poor, you really do need that paycheck coming in to put food, clothing, and shelter on. So I would never forget that. Be happy, be smiley, don't rock the boat, get your check. Sure, find maybe another more reliable employer or a company like that. I'm sure Microsoft and Amazon aren't going away anytime soon. But yeah, try going without food for a week. See how that makes you. You'll start thinking, you never want to be in that position. So don't be as flippant about your current employer as you might be tempted to. From your experience, can you see something that maybe I don't see, similar to climbing the mountain analogy? Good analogy. Nobody knows what you're talking about, but I know it, yeah. No, I already addressed it before, where you think you're going to have to work, like you want to switch careers. I wouldn't do that. If your next career is what you want to be as self-employment, and that's web development, I wouldn't pursue that as a career. I'd keep your current career as it is, get whatever certifications that you need, and then focus on that one solely as either a part-time gig so you can skill up at the expense of some other employer, or you self-teach yourself, start developing websites. You actually want to see let me give you an example. Davina and the Vagabonds, great jazz band. I kind of know them personally because they came out of Minneapolis, and they're a hop and jumping blues jump band. Their website is developed by Davina, the leader of the band. And she is a pianist, singer, amazing. Go watch. I mean, seriously, you want to see some good music, go to DavinaandtheVagabonds.com. But as a web developer, look at what she did. She started from scratch. She self-taught herself everything. So, and again, I'm not an IT genius, and I'm sure the Puritans are going to come in, well, she has this missing and that missing. It's very easily hackable. All right, fine. But you look at it and you're like, wow, she's just as good as a musician as she is a web developer. I mean, I look at the website, I remember I was, just starting out, as opposed to my website, Asshole Consulting, which you can tell was done by an amateur. You look at her site and you're like, wow, that is so, and it was all self-taught. So it leads me to believe that anyone with a reasonably high IQ, and you have one, can self-teach themselves all that is needed to start developing websites and go immediately to the self-employment route and opening up a shop rather than having to work for someone else. So that'd be about the only thing I would see there. The other thing, yeah, there is a gaping that, what the fuck are you doing going all these leftist shitholes? Illinois, D.C., Chicago, California, Seattle. Dude, get the book Reconnaissance Man. That book is definitely written for you. You don't want to put all this effort into it, start making money, and then you're in Ohio where you're paying state, federal, and local income taxes, and sales tax, and property tax, and tax for shit little kids that you don't have that are going to school, and God almighty, look at Vegas. That's why I look at Vegas, Denver, Dallas. I like Dallas, Austin, hippie, but no state income taxes in Texas. Florida's nothing wrong with Florida. If you like Florida, that's all right, but not for even necessarily living. Will you get the fuck on the west side of the Mississippi, and not just the west side, but get on the other side of the Plain States? Get your ass to Moab, get yourself to Vegas, get your ass to Phoenix just to see it. I know, and I guarantee I'm going to tell you why. It's because you're black, and it's because you're on the east side of the Mississippi. Everyone on the east side, I might go to Atlanta. I might go to Chicago. I might go to Philadelphia. It's like, dude, there's half the other, 2/3 if you consider Alaska. And it's like, yes, I know that's why you're on the other side. So that's about the only other thing I do. But if you get Reconnaissance Man, that'll in detail, that's the whole point of the book, is it filters the U.S. It goes through all the different states, the pros and cons, where a young, budding entrepreneurial guy like you might want to consider go living. So, you know, fishing, go to Idaho. Hunting, go to Montana. I mean, there's just so much more out there. And you're the typical under 30, east side, not east coast, east side. Oh, there's California and New York. And that's all the United States there is. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So, great question. Good luck to you. Wish people were more like you. Toodles.